I apologize to anybody I've jump scared with my hideous face. Undertale, the hit 2015 indie RPG, is turning 10 in about a month or so. That is really cool. So I thought I'd make a video just expressing what the game means to me, because it has been a highly influential game for me personally. I'm gonna take you through it. Might as well. Why not? So, first time I'd ever heard of Undertale was whenever I was in my cousin's house in, I want to say late 2015, early 2016. I was in first year of secondary school. I was stupid. If I have a clip of it, I'll show it, but I was stupid. I was very... Oh god, I was just cringy. You know, I was that age where I was just cringy and just annoying. My actual introduction to the game was Bone Trussell, specifically, that song. It's really good, and I thought for some reason it was clearly being used in a video that he was making. Me and two other friends of his were going to be playing Resident Evil, and he was filming a little intro. We were pretending to have kidnapped us. For some reason, I didn't get the memo, heard the funky music, and just decided to go like... Seriously, that's what I was doing. After that, I mean, there wasn't really much exposure I had to it, aside from just like talking to others about it whenever it was brought up in a little conversation. I didn't try it then, but what convinced me to actually go ahead and purchase it back in, I think, about mid-2016, the start of the school year, was, I had a really bad depressive episode, and I was a pretty avid watcher of Jacksepticeye at that time, so I decided I'd watch his Undertale playthrough. I didn't know the ordering of the Undertale playthrough, because I was a stupid child. So I watched... My first exposure to the actual video game was the Sans fight. And then I went to my cousin's again, and I got shown the Stronger Than You parody, where it was Sans. So the only thing I knew about the game, thus far, was Papyrus's theme, and the Fan and Sans stuff, along with the fight being really difficult. And that was enough to convince me to try it, because it looked fun. Didn't know what I was getting into. I've decided to break this into sections, just per area in the game, because that's easier. We're gonna go in order the 5 or so areas in the game. We're gonna hand movements. We're gonna analyze how each area impacted me. I'm gonna cut this so much. So the ruins is the introductory area in the game. It's fairly standard in terms of tutorial stuff. It walks you through how to play the game. Basically tries to lead you down the path you would probably want to play on your first playthrough, where you're just kind of going through the motions, sparing people if you can, and attacking people every time you can. Just, simple stuff. The dialogue is charming enough. The most influential character in that area of the game is obviously Toriel, because they're the one that's, for lack of a better term, giving you the game tutorial. There's a little bit of the sad mother vibe that's clear in her character, but I really think, even though the area is very important in that it's the first one, it's very iconic, the game didn't really start to majorly affect me until I got to Snowdin. The game's charm really shone in Snowdin. The comments from Sans with the blue stop signs, all of Sans and Papyrus's like character dynamics and bickering with each other. It's fun. You connect with them a lot. All the background NPCs, like the random fish guy who has like a fishing line out, that made the world feel very like very lived in, and that was something I hadn't experienced up to that point. The dogs were all very cute. They there was a lot of them in Snowden Down. The mini bosses all sort of portray their gimmicks well. I like how they're more involved if you're acting rather than just murdering everybody you see. By design, of course. As mentioned before, Papyrus and Sound are like the best part about Snowden. Like they bounce off each other really fun. Papyrus is probably the reason that I enjoy goofy antagonists so much, because he is so damn funny. He never ceases to make me laugh. It's like an old friend. Genuinely, his self-doubt and his self-esteem issues that are shown in his boss fight, they're very relatable. Very relatable. I understand. World building is just great in it up to that point. And it only keeps getting better when you get into Waterfall. First thing you see if you don't go with Sans to go for a date, I guess, is the menacing figure of Undyne just about to throw freaking spears at you. Yeah, it's ominous. The entire vibe of Waterfall kind of has that feel. That said, the visuals of the area are also great. I do, in particular, like the second half of the area where it has all like the glowing blue water. It's very pretty. All the walls that have the prophecy on them are very good world building. I think that helped me connect to the world on the first time, because I hadn't really much of an idea what I was doing aside from going from point A to point B. That sort of explained a little bit more about why I was doing what I was doing. I think Hotland's probably my favorite area in the game, to be honest. It's a really cool aesthetic visually. It, gameplay-wise, feels very different from the rest of it. Elvis is awesome. Elvis is the reason that I considered being friends for like a couple months. After initially playing the game, it was great. The depressive thoughts she has are very relatable. I've struggled with that ever since I got into second year of secondary school. Funny how that happens with education. I had a long period of time where all of my social media presence was Elvis related. The anime enjoying was also something that I did around that time. I'm less into it now. That's just autism interests. I compared myself to Trash a lot around that time, probably because of the game. She's also an awesome lesbian. Mettaton is fun. Mettaton's fun to fight. Mettaton's hot. I think he may be gay. He's cool. He's a box. And in seriousness, his fights are fun. They're very different from everything that you've done before at that point. Little mini-game-like interactions he has are also very fun. You can tell from my t-shirt that I'm a fan of when Toby Fox kind of breaks the mold and goes for like completely different gameplay styles in his games. From that point, you get into the more serious stuff. One line of dialogue in New Home is very poignant for a lot of people, myself included. Despite everything, it is still you. Now that doesn't seem like it would hit as hard as it would. But if it's on your first playthrough, and you've really connected with the world, you've been through the highs and the lows, you've been having fun, you've learned as much as you can about the characters, connected with them, seeing that, it's gonna hit you. And it did hit me. Very emotionally, so I can't even really explain why. It's a simple line of dialogue, but it's enough of a thing that I see pin badges for sale of it still to this day on like Amazon and stuff. It's really cool. That entire section in Asgore's home, with all the monsters telling you the tale of how Asriel died, it unironically kind of helped me process loss quite well. I really don't know how to word it, but Asriel's character as a whole in the game. Just helped me understand that a lot more. The Judgment Hall, my first exposure to the game, sans the fucking skeleton. That guy. Yeah, he's fun. I like how at that point he completely drops all goofiness and explains acronyms of level and experience, recontextualizing them to level of violence and execution points. That's such a simple thing to do, but it has stuck with me ever since I played the game for the first time. Every time I see level in a video game, there's that little creeping thing in the back of my mind. It's like, remember Undertale? What they said that was an acronym for. And it's stuck with me ever since. And then, of course, the fight with him there is probably the thing I've seen most out of the fandom. Remember when I said I watched the Jacksepticeye playthrough of the Sans fight specifically? The poor guy had to use a notebook. The fandom kind of over-exaggerated how depressed he seems. Like, yeah, it's definitely there, but he definitely masks it a lot. Not only does he do that, but he's very relatable in the sense that I also struggle with that sort of thing, and he also longs for better times, which I think we can all relate to nowadays. Asgore is there. He's probably the character that gets the most build-up to him, but then whenever you actually reach him, he's just kind of there. I've been ignoring the elephant in the room this entire time. Flowey. The flower guy. That one. You know, the one who remembers everything you do in the game. The one who knows of your every action, every kill, every spare. And at the end of the game, if you're doing a neutral run, decides, frick you, I'm taking the souls and I'm becoming a thing out of your nightmares. Yeah, that entire experience was definitely something that scarred me. I'm not even going to say changed me, it scarred me, it was horrifying. The way he is sort of a mirror of the player is very interesting, I think. The way he explains his actions in the no mercy route, he tries to excuse what he does as simple curiosity, that sort of thing. The fact that he's also Azrael's memories without the love. Not the acronym, the actual emotion. Not to say he doesn't have emotions, that's a very clear distinction. The entire game as a whole was just really influential on me. The No Mercy route, genocide route, whatever you want to call it, legitimately unnerved me the entire time I did it for my first time. Even though that was my exposure to the game, I had connected so much to the world that the first time I actually saw any footage of it was the time I accidentally watched a Game Grumps episode whenever they were doing it. Whenever Flowey was giving his monologue in that scene, I genuinely kept looking to my door like, is somebody going to come in? I feel like somebody's going to come in. I feel like this is like horrifying evil guy with a knife is going to come in and stab me to death or something like that. You know, normal fears. I genuinely couldn't bring myself to hurt the characters that I became so connected to after a true pacifist run. It took me like a month to actually do a genocide run properly. And the entire time I felt sick. I think I experienced it the way it was intended, in the sense that I'd heard about it from just friends and stuff, and decided to do it for myself. It was a miserable experience, of course, but every character's reaction to what you do just made it all the worse. The characters felt real enough that it felt bad to simply choose what I deemed as the morally incorrect option. And that is part of why it's such a good game, I think. The only real thing I want to bring up now is the how the fandom shaped me as well. I remember first time I was looking up Undertale content online, I looked up the Underpent series, the animations by Sir Pello. I remember watching those. I remember watching the True Pacifist one on Premiere, laughing my ass off about how funny it was. I remember watching the Undertale but realistic videos, thinking they were really confusing because I didn't get the humor at the time. I remember I thought Azrael looked so cool in some of the fan art that I literally made my entire YouTube personality the first time I was on the platform. Awesome Azrael Gamer. Yeah. Yeah, that was really what I went by. Not my proudest moment. Also, uncredited art usage, so that's great. Love that. The game also helped me be a lot more creative. It inspired me to look into game engines, look into things like MIDI files and sound fonts and FL Studio. It helped me to learn art programs. It inspired me to draw the characters, inspired me to connect with the games that I play, inspired me to look into things a bit more, inspired me to have a little bit of kindness most of the time. Despite everything, how much the game has changed me, the game has not aged a single day.